Of these back-to-back challenges, Lewis indicated once his Number 2 coming up next in these back-to-back challenges. Stay with us here. big day of team competition here at the 2021 Millville CrossFit Games as we have moved from Lake Winona inside the North Park, the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin. Thank you so much for being with us today, everybody. I'm Sean Woodland with Chase Ingram. Mike Arsenault is down on the field. Back-to-back challenges here for events 2 and 3. And Big Bob is back.
Big Bob is back in a big way because we have a lot of pushing and pulling to do with the Big Bob. It's super heavy and it only gets heavier on the event 3 portion, but a lot of synchronized work and pulling and communication is going to go into this one.
9 teams in the second of 4 East. No team has been able to complete either event of these back-to-back tests. 25 Lone Star CrossFit, 21st overall after the
Lone Star CrossFit at San Antonio, Texas. Funny, most teams have a worm, but not many people have a sled. So they did the most country thing you can do is they got out the old F-150 and started pushing and pulling that thing around in the back parking lot to get ready for this event.
Invictus, and they are in lane number 3, they're 25th overall, and this is a team that has some pedigree behind them.
12 plus years of CrossFit competition experience here at the CrossFit Games, one of the most heralded and coveted affiliates and teams in the sport of CrossFit.
3 left.
Second of 4 heats in event number 2 is underway. We open with that 1,107 pounds.
2 left.
So down the field.
168 feet of just life-sucking, acid-burning into the quads and core. And the only thing this is really going to do other than get you tired, it's going to elevate your heart rate so quickly that you're going to have to navigate that through a very high-skill gymnastic movement with your partner once you get to the zoo.
All right, round 2. VitaGlide.
Day here at the North Park at the Alliant Energy Center. As it is CrossFit Invictus in lane 3 there. In the middle of the screen, they have the lead. It was 12 lanes. They were up early. They were in lane number 4. Right next to Invictus. They are in the middle of the screen. Invictus will complete that 168-foot course first, and they have to get that spot over the line. And that will be like their 55 single arm slots.
You can pick any pair you want, male, female. Once you start this 25, you have to keep the pairs the same. You are allowed to change them after they finish these 25 and go back to the line. One thing that must happen, so you see the athletes on the right side of your screen, they must be carrying that same, that 100 pounds and 70 pounds up so your team can do the work. 12 laborers that are actually got back to the line. Another one of those team names that you see with the Invictus in 101 Mayhem. So it's good to see that name back here at the CrossFit Games.
Invictus is your leader. They have 15 reps. After 20 reps, that's what they were back to the line. 84 repetitions in this event. 87 of their working reps with the full rest across the finish line. So that is
Guys, you have alluded to it, and I can attest to it. It is very warm here on the field at the North Park. Temperature-wise, it's 30 degrees Celsius, which is approximately 90 degrees Fahrenheit. It's around in the wind today. We're going to get an airflow on the field play. I can actually feel the
the blue. And they will move back. Down the field. They're halfway through. Avia making the turn here.
Avia had a great showing at Granite Games. And that was a hot competition. In fact, it was hotter than this. In of all places, Minnesota, where it's like 95 plus degrees with no cloud cover.
Let's go back down to Mike Arsenault.
Thanks, Sean. I had a chance to talk to Omnia in the warm-up area. Now, obviously, the Big Bob is a typical implement that we see here in the team competition, but many teams obviously don't have access to a Big Bob during their training regimen. So what Omnia did is they took a yoke, retrofitted it with some pull-up bars, and worked on their Bob strategy that way. Also, going into this push, they didn't have any set pattern of how far to push it each time. They're going by feel, which my prediction or my thought, as I'm watching them right now, they're probably backing off what they may have thought in the warm-up area as they're really impacted by this heat.
CrossFit versions of Build-A-Bear.
Bob. Man, CrossFit fitters are going to find a way to do that, man. It doesn't matter, guys. I know people who use the warm substitute as a use a roll-up carpet. Whatever works, man. You can push it. Push the weight up.
Mafia bodies, they put in a change that they don't.
Omni is your leader. Elisa Shower, Mary Kay, and the right center, Cooper, Elijah Gale, both there are in front. They have one section to go. Past the halfway point now in this event. 12-minute time cap.
Such a massive advantage just to have experience with an implement similar to this. It's not necessarily something you train for on a daily basis. There's so much to do with CrossFit to get good at. These objects are more of having a familiarity with them, not necessarily proficiency, right? You're gonna have to work, you're gonna figure things out on the fly, right? There's an unknown element of this, right? You can't know everything, you just gotta be prepared for everything, and that's adapting and overcoming a lot of these different obstacles that things going to approach you over the weekend.
Omnia now has about 5 minutes to do 50 single bar muscle ups and work their way back down the field if they want to finish the event. That's the core CrossFit in lane 1. They're looking to be the second team to get back to the pull-up bars. Omnia is getting to work on those 50 single bar muscle ups. So Mary Kay tries some issues nearest to the camera.
Which just crazy to say is he did 25 to start things off with one sled push. And now we did 2 back-to-back, and we're doubling the reps yet again here on the bar muscle ups. Again, 12-minute time cap. Getting close to that, and that's just, you got to navigate this the right way because of what's coming up directly after this.
Tricycle Cooper Wise are on the cheese curds now. As Alicia Shower and Daniel Bullock who get to work. 48 of the 88 scored repetitions down to the 87 rep mark. That's what they got to hit to work their way back down the field across the finish line. Haven't seen the team finish this event yet. This is only the second team. Blue City CrossFit, they came the closest. 13 scored reps shy of finishing the event.
They're doing huge sets on these bar muscle ups. I'm more impressed or maybe concerned of how that's going to stack up for them. And Omnia, again, to qualify here for the Granite Games, there's a bit that had a lot of bar muscle ups and toes to bar paired together. So they are well experienced in their qualification to get to this point with these two movements.
Guys, so there's Wise back to work for Omnia as they have an 8-rep unit more CrossFit Invictus. They were in the lead early. And second place in this heat. 87. That's the number of these teams need to hit.
But the number of total reps they may be doing as a pair, even if you split it 50-50, 40 to 35 per pair of bar muscle ups you're going to have to do. And that's just in event number 2.
Ryan Sauter. We have Jim Ryan working on their figure out for muscles. Now the 2 move to the cheese curves. The rest of the camera, the cheese curves being held by the runners. Less than 3 minutes together before the contest.
for the arm muscle up, the only thing that needs to happen is that they lock out together before they start their next rep. So some will be a little faster at the bottom, but as long as they're stable together at the top before they continue to their next rep, that's what is going to be counted as synchronized for the muscle ups.
Yeah, having a good shot at this. They are 14 reps away.
One.
50. Mary Jane Bryson, Silver, and Cooper Wise now back to work on the pull-up bar.
I'm surprised they do this in one more set each for each.
Got it.
pair.
Last round.
They're ripping off big chunks this entire event so far.
Invictus Heavy Form still fighting for second place, but Avia is putting some distance between themselves and those two teams. Second of 4 heats in event number 2. And 90 seconds to go. 6 reps left for Avia. All the Pulldowns will be showered. We're going to close it out hopefully for Avia.
And what's great for them, if they can get to the end of this, they get to rest and then see a head start. There were some nice, cool fans on the other side of the competition floor. That's going to be valuable break for them before they start at number 3.
Avia CrossFit will be the first team to finish this event inside this local time. As you mentioned, Chase, they have brought themselves some valuable rest, and they will get basically ready to work on their first set of 42 synchro toes tomorrow. The other team will have to put it down and back. Avia not only has themselves some rest, but also jump into the competition in the event. It'll be 30 seconds ago before we hit the time count. CrossFit and Fitness natural leaders on the field right now. Final seconds before we hit the 12-minute time count.
Every team squeezing out every last rep they can, and that's going to matter. With over 35, 38 teams in the competition as Avia, you can see they're going to pass the field, and the field has to run all the way back to the starting line and then through. So a major advantage for Avia being able to finish event number 2.
They start this on time. 173 score competitions in event number 3. Still at the time count. 4 rounds of 42 synchro toes tomorrow with the same rules with the cheese curd applying. And then the 4 big drop holds are added. Will weight about 110 pounds. Now weighs 1,217 pounds.
There's so many different elements of core midline fatigue. The touch bar, as it means here, that's a frontal core taxing movement along with the grip. And now look at the rounded backs of the athletes holding on to that same back. That's a posterior or backside fatigue of the core. You're hitting it from both sides, including the grip remote, and then you have those slabs on the left side of your screen with more weight having to be pulled with your grip. This is I'm very curious to see how their bodies feel. Here is tonight where we start phase number 2 tomorrow.
Obviously, 18 of their first set of 42 and the 42 mark they will get to 5. They have kept with pairings the same as they did in event number 2 with Lisa Shower and Daniel Fuller. They are on the wall bar right now. They're paired up. Mary Kay Bryson and Silver and Cooper Wise. They are paired up as well.
Now, the challenge here to be synchronized is that the toes must touch the bar at the exact same time. That's a little bit trickier than a bar muscle up. You can sit at the top of the bar and wait for your partner. There has to be a lot of precision, good timing, great communication between you and your partner with these toes apart. So for the skill isn't as difficult. The skill synchro is.
In event number 2, and they will try to become the first team to complete this event inside the 12-minute time count.
Here we go, guys. Give them a round of applause.
4 reps to go.
Please keep them down. On the across the biggest band of the
Now they will move
bringing you and your applicable force to the sled, and that's the rope. All your effort is channeled through that rope. It's like doing muscle-ups on long straps versus short ones. You have a much more direct action on it. That's why they're easier to do. That's why you're stronger on short straps. So if you do longer distance from the sled, you don't have as much action on it as you would short.
Invictus and Timberwolf, they have finished up their first set of 42 toes bar. Invictus in second place as they were the second team to get to Bob. There was Invictus. Over Jen Ryan, Ricky Weiss, Jorge Fernandez, and Ryan Sauer.
Creeping on the left, it's actually Lone Star crossing ahead of Invictus. They've just been steady there, right in the middle of the pack in event number 2, about 4th or 5th at the end. This is just a consistent pace throughout. This is a long event, right? It's only a 12-minute cap, so that's not necessarily a long time. The amount of volume within those 12 minutes, that's tough. So managing your work, Omnia's opted for big sets. Lone Star's doing much smaller ones, so you're going to lose some transition time, but maybe save your grip.
Omnia through 50 out of 173 goals, 4 repetitions. At the 85 rep mark, they will be better with their second round as Rosenbar. Lone Star, they have moved into second place. They are on the left on your screen. I just send it back down to Lake Arsenal.
Chase, I have a question for you. You mentioned how imperative it is that these athletes make sure their hands don't rip. So these are elite athletes that are used to doing high volume muscle-ups and also toes to bars. But I'm curious, the addition of this rope pull, should that impact how many reps and how many sets they're doing on the toes to bars? Should that be factored in to the potential rip factor on their hands?
Absolutely. And if you think about it, if you ever fly with a rope in general, what that does to the fingers, or you get that almost that burning feel on your hands, and then the weight of that and fatiguing. How do you rip your hands? Well, it's because your hands aren't having as strong of a grip on the pull board. How many times have you done a workout, Sean, where you hear someone go, I ripped on the last one? All the time. And why is it the last one? It's because your hands are most fatigued, and they're sliding and rotating on the bar. That's how people rip. It's not because they're on the bar too long, but that their grip is so fatigued, they're rubbing their hands and rotating. That's how you're going to get rips. So the sled, like I said, the sled and the sandbag are nasty little tricks to fatigue the grip and possibly put your hands in the sled.
They are your leaders. They're in the bottom right. Lone Star, they moved into second place at the end of round 1 of this 4-round event. 42 single
Got it, set rope pulls done.
foot sled drag.
Now, Omnia on the right is doing huge sets. They've been doing that since event number 2. But Lone Star on the left has been opting for much shorter sets with quicker transitions. And it just comes down to time wasted between the non-moving parts, transitions, picking up your bag. It's not necessarily how many big sets you do, if you take huge breaks in between. So it's really neat to see two strategies between these two teams.
Omnia returns to Bob for their second quarter pull. Unlock yourself with 24/7 recovery, sleep, and straight insights from Whoop. Go to whoop.com/CrossFit and get $30 off your membership free.
Now, if you want to have the question other than maybe the physics portion of how this works out, but if you gave the option is this, would you rather be a strong person being weaker on the pull, which would be guys in the back and girls in the front, or a weaker person helping the stronger? And it's the other way around.